Mondale Dingle here.
What's up? How's it going? Right, it's been a while since I last did one of these talk through videos, but I want to do one on the Hayes Dominion A4, which I've been running for about 3 months now, something like that, since I switched from Hope. I just wanted to give my first impressions after about 3 months of riding them, and give first opinions. I've got 2 sets, one on my downhill bike and one on my enduro bike. The ones on my enduro bike have been mint. The ones on my downhill bike, not so good, but we'll get to that in a second. So, first of all, got one here which I've taken apart to go on my next bike, which will be coming up in a video soon. Also, I just wanted to quickly say thanks to everyone who's been messaging me on Instagram asking about videos and stuff, and it's cool to see that people have actually been watching these things. So, yeah, thanks for watching, everyone. So let's get into it. So, lever. First impressions of these brakes is they feel quite cheap. Like, they look quite cheap and they feel quite cheap, like poorly made. This is probably the worst thing I'm going to say about them, because they are really good. But nothing really lines up. It's not really like a big deal. Obviously, it's not a big deal. Like, if they work, I don't really care, because as long as they work. But for people who want that aestheticness of a brake and things like that, everything looks like it's a bit cheap, and I saw some pictures, all the machining and stuff doesn't really look like it lines up together when it's bolted together and things like that. This looks like something you'd buy from Halfords. But that's the only bad thing I'd say. Well, there will be one more bad thing, but it might be a fluke. The performance is very good on them. I wouldn't say they're as powerful as the Hope Tech 4s, V4s, which I was running for 3 years, because instantly I noticed a dip in power and I had to size up on the rotors, because I'm quite heavy. I'm probably about 95 kilos kitted up for riding, maybe more. So I did have to, I went up bigger on the rotors on my downhill bike, 220 front and rear, to get the stopping power. Might have been that I didn't bed the pads in properly, I don't know, but I just didn't get the same amount of power as I was getting on the Hopes. I prefer the lever feel of these to the Hope Tech 4s, for sure. The lever feels way better. They're probably as on-off as the Hope Tech 4s, I'd say, but they're not too on-off. They're like a good mix of on-off and modulation. It's it ramps up, and then it's bite, and it will just grip. But then when you're pulling hard, you are pulling hard. It's quite a light lever action. When you're pulling hard, you can really feel it in your hands. Whereas on the Hopes, when you're pulling hard, it's you're not pulling hard, if you know what I mean. It feels spongy, but there's still power. It's really hard to describe. It feels spongy to the end, easy to pull, but the power is really, really on at the end of the stroke of the lever. But with these, at the end of the stroke of the lever, I find that the power is properly on, but I'm really pulling, which is something I didn't get on the Hopes. But yeah, heat-wise, didn't notice any overheating or anything. Obviously not. They're Runaway World Cup riders. If they're good enough for them, they'd definitely be good enough for me. Bumbling around trails. Just going to make this a quick video. I don't want to go too deep into it, but reliability-wise, I'm not that sure on them. First of all, Hayes now offers a lifetime leak-proof warranty on their brakes, which tells me that they've had a lot of leaking problems with their pistons. So first ride on these ones, I was like, why is I bled it, and it didn't feel right. It's it felt like when when you push a syringe and it's loads of resistance, but you can still push and it just keeps going and going and going. I was like, where's all this oil going? When I was bleeding the brake, I bled it 3 times. I still couldn't get it to feel have any power. And I went to a bike park day and I ended up not riding my bike, but changing bikes over the end of the day because my brake wouldn't feel good. And then I took the brake off for a good look, and I saw one of the pistons was leaking. After one ride, or not even that, after a bleed and one ride. Didn't pop the pistons out or anything when I was bleeding them. I bled them exactly how Hayes said. And yeah, piston was leaking after one ride. But I went to my local shop and they sent it off for warranty. Hayes came back and they said they would send me a rebuild kit. But I was kind of thinking I could just send it off to them and they would send me a whole new one, because it's not very good. His first ride bleeding like leaking like that. But they said they'd send me a piston rebuild kit, so they did. Came back a couple of weeks later, and I got the brake back, and it was sorted. I don't think it would have been sorted as quickly as that if it wasn't for Slam69. So thank you for sorting them. So hopefully it doesn't happen again. Hopefully I don't get any more leaking in the pistons. But after doing a bit of research, I've seen a few people getting the leaky pistons. I don't know if it was like a one-off thing or like a one batch thing, but hopefully this new piston kit here, hopefully that sorts that out. So yeah, I will be running them for a bit longer. I like the way they feel and I like the way they ride. They feel really good on your hands. I don't get any arm pump on long descents. They don't overheat. Their lever feels really good. They're really easy to bleed. I love the way how easy they are to bleed. They got two little ports on the caliper, 1, 2, and you can bleed it on both sides. So if there's any air trapped on either side of the piston, you can just work it out using that. And it bleeds using syringes, which I like because it's way easier to bleed a brake using syringes. I think brake lever feel is one of the best brake lever feels on the market from like what I've tried. I've tried Magura, I've tried Shimano, I've tried Hope, SRAM, but I do think if in hindsight and I'd gone back and chose a different brake, I would have gone for SRAM Mavens. I know a lot of people get issues with the bleeding on them, have the massage pistons and stuff, but I think once you're persistent and you do get that initial good bleed, you're going to have like good working brakes for a long period of time. So yeah, I regret my decision. I wish I'd gone for SRAM Mavens, but these are plenty good enough for me and my riding. I'll be running them a bit longer and I'll see how the longevity of them goes and if I get any leaking pistons over time. Hopefully they stay good now. I'm not sure what the service intervals are on them, but I'll just keep running them until they leak. But yeah, so yeah, short one today. Thanks for watching. Check out my other videos. They usually a lot longer than this, so sit down, grab a cup of tea, and watch them if you like. I got some big news coming soon for a new bike frame coming, so that's super cool. I'll be doing a long build video on that and first ride video. I'm not telling anyone what it is yet, but I'm so excited. I've literally sold all my other bikes to get it. Well, apart from one. So yeah, this one's going hopefully today to a friend. So yeah. Right, anyway, enough of that. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Peace.